Adam, you're returning trio. Will any of them be on managed minutes this weekend?
I don't think so. No, we probably can't afford to do that at the moment. So, yeah, Luke Edwards is back as well, so he's probably in our best 22, we reckon, a young player. So that's good to get some soldiers back, but unfortunately we lose a couple with Jermaine Jones. He'll be out for a fair stint. Haven't got the results back yet, but looks like most of the back half of the season. So unfortunately with what's going on, we get some players back and we lose a couple, but we'll definitely enjoy getting some senior boys back.
I know you mentioned last night that the approach has been a bit more conservative with these blokes coming back in, maybe giving them an extra week just to make sure. So you're confident things can happen obviously, but you're confident they will get through the game?
We are, yeah. It's probably more, let's get them back in and manage their minutes, to let's just get them back in and they're right to go. That's an approach that, every player is different, but we've gone with that one with a couple of our senior players.
How do you plan to use Yo? We've seen him in different roles in terms of coming back from injury. How do you plan to use him?
Pretty similar to what we used to do. Yeah, so we played him back last time, and we'll probably do that again. Yeah, a bit on ball time, but yeah, pretty similar to what he did earlier in the year.
And just that injection of experience into your back line with the 3 ends, how crucial is that this week?
Well, yeah, we saw last week some of the vulnerabilities we had with poor defence up the field. Let us really open down back. So yeah, they'll be good to come back.
Confidence-wise, how is everyone feeling at the moment? What do you do to try to lift them up?
Confidence? It's low, yeah, no doubt after last week. So we've got to stay resilient, like we really do. We need to find a way to compete better. Like I know I've said this a number of times, and I'll say it again. We are on a bit of a journey, and there's no quick fix, but we need to be better than last week. And regardless of how young the side is or the talent that's not available, we want more than what we delivered last week, obviously.
How would you use Shannon?
We're just normal Shannon. Yeah, he'll be back. He won't be going forward. Duffy will play back. He'll be in this normal spot. Yeah.
So if Elliott plays back, who goes into the midfield that would enable you to?
I'm not going to tell you the whole game plan and the way we're going to set up, but we'll work on. They all can fit. We lost Harry Edwards as well, so.
You didn't just have a complete lack of experience, etc., on the field last year. You had players who weren't. You had to play them, but they weren't prepared. Really, are you better prepared across the board this week than you were?
Yes and no. Yeah, there's some players who are playing because they're available, and that's just where we're at the moment. There's no excuse about that. But, especially when you're a younger player. Young Campbell Chess is a good example. He's not quite ready for AFL at the moment. He needs a good block of waffle football and just hasn't had that opportunity. So it's a little bit unfair to judge some of these guys on AFL form when there's no base. So that's on us. We've got to get that right. We've got to get availability right and healthy. But I wouldn't be pointing the finger at the younger kids.
No, not pointing the finger. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. Well, criticism out there. It's I'm sure there's a bit.
It was almost unfair. They had to play, but they had to play. If you know what I mean. Not
unfair. It's the competition. So I'm sure they appreciated playing, but yeah, we'd like to get them better prepared.
How many would you have running around the waffle this week?
We might. I don't know. 6 or 7. Yeah. So we've been playing with probably 26 available at AFL level for 6 weeks. So yeah, we're getting some numbers back. I think Jack Williams coming off a spleen. Bird Gill's going to play. Hewitt will play. Chester will play. This is waffle. So that's a positive. That's probably the first step to trying to be competitive there as well.
Do you mind taking us through what happened on Wednesday night with the initial report saying you're taking extended leave and then the club saying no?
Yeah. I can talk you through it. I spoke last night with Adam Papaleo at 6PR, so hopefully I can regurgitate that because, I must admit, I reckon I've had 5 or 6 messages from past players and journalists where they've been misquoted, taken out of context, and unfortunately, again, there was a report here that I was having 3 months off straight away, and I was actually sitting on the training track next to the chairman watching training when that sort of started to drift through, and it's like, have you got something to tell me? And so we tried to clean that up, and then it went to the end of the season, and look, it's just something that's probably taken out of context. I'm fine. I'm up for it. It's all good. It's hard at the moment trying to be competitive, but that doesn't take away my energy for it all. So, and nothing changes from 2 weeks ago when we spoke about it all. In terms of the end of the season, I'm looking to do a bit of PD, personal development, and I'll probably take the family away somewhere, but not for 3 months. So yeah, that you need a break end of the year, but you need a break if you win the premiership as well. So that part, and then you connect it to burnout for senior coaches, and I think for me, with the soft cap, it's more connected to your staff than the coach. Like you'd like to see them get rewarded a bit more with, the way they get paid, the availability of medical staff and administration, all those sort of things. That's where the burnout happens. It's with our staff. So, yeah, the initial 3-month thing, yeah, that's exactly what happened. It went from now to end of the year to, well, I'll have a break and we'll go from there. And it's the last thing on my mind, what I'm going to do in December or November. We've got this week and we've got another 12 weeks to get on with and try and get something out of this season.
You touched on burnout. Are you close to that kind of stage? You've been in the role for so long.
No, I just explained it. Yeah, as much as there's, obviously Dimmer's just finished up and Clarko's stepped aside, but I don't know. I feel good. I feel bad about where we're at and what's going on with our side, but I don't. The energy's still there. So I know I look a bit older than I did when I first got here, but yeah, I signed up for this. Yeah, I knew this was coming. We knew we were going to have to restock our list, and it's going to be some hard times. So we had a bad week. And it's been a bad few weeks with our availability and our form, but that doesn't change my attitude or demeanour or stress levels. It's the same. And sometimes dealing with success is harder than dealing with failure. So it's part of my career I've got to deal with, and I'm in it, and I'm up for it.
Are you okay with the course that the club is going to set, that's going to be draft, which means long-term, not trades, which for short-term sugar hits?
Yeah, well, I'm part of that decision. So that I don't get told that. So that's something that we worked through 18 months ago. I think what happens with you guys, and you're frothing at the mouth at the moment with the stories and the scandalous stuff that is in the board, and it doesn't affect what we do. We've got a plan in place, and despite the criticism, we're sticking to the plan. So that's if we win by 10 goals this week or lose by 10 goals. You can't change every week on it. So we need leadership at the moment, and that's what I'm trying to do.
The plan is draft picks, take them. If you manage to score a free agent, you score them, but keep your draft picks and take.
I think we've indicated the draft's going to be important for us with our list profile, what we're trying to do in the next 2 or 3 years, without running through the whole plan, which no club would do in terms of public, but the draft's important.
Sorry, just back on Wednesday night's story, there was comments from a spokesperson from the club about that story, though.
Who was it?
I'm not sure. It was today.
I don't think it was. This is the stuff that you guys report, and I'm not stressed about it. You guys can grab something from someone who's connected to someone and make it a spokesperson, unless I didn't see a name there. It's these things get reported, taken out of context, and then I get an apology from someone saying, look, I didn't mean to say it like that, and they didn't quote me like I wanted to, and I suspect that was another one, which I'm not stressed about. Honestly, it is not affecting me at all. Hopefully it's cleared it up a little bit and we can move on. And I was, my wife asked a few questions when I got home, but other than that, it's all good. It's fine.
How much of the discussions this week within the four walls of the club have been around, trying to turn things around in the short term this season, trying to get some more wins on the board, but also looking at, the next couple of off seasons, trying to rebuild the list?
Well, at the moment, our priority is this week. Yeah, and the bigger picture stuff doesn't change a lot. So, and you need to check in on that and how it's going with, we've got the mid-season draft. We've got our younger players, how they're developing. We've got the health of our list, how's that going, availability. And we've got Essendon tomorrow night. So that's why I can detach pretty easily and pretty quickly, because the job I've got at the moment is probably more about this week and how do we be more competitive. And all the noise on the outside, I get it all, but it just can't affect what I do. So that's where I'm at.
The young blokes who, as you said before, are playing simply because they're available to play, does that help you make future list decisions in the moment, or is it too harsh to judge them on what's happening right now because they haven't had a chance to build up that form in the Waffle?
I think, yeah, you're good at answering your own questions. You've done it twice now. So you've answered that for me. I think we can't make judgments on first-year players or second-year players who, play without any form or, experience at Waffle level. So hopefully we get that in the coming weeks.
Here's one I won't answer.
Okay.
Brady Hoff started on the wing last week. You've sort of moved in there a bit and down back. I mean, do you see him having the base to play that midfield role?
Yeah, so he played 15 games last year, so he's probably a bit more advanced than some of the other kids coming through. So yeah, he's been playing wing for 2 or 3 weeks now, and we see some development there, some growth. So that's been positive for him. I think he's got a bit more base and confidence on the role, a bit more clarity. So yeah, I'm happy with his form.
Do you do...
So just captaincy-wise this week with Oscar?
Oscar, yeah.
Expecting from him, and what have you seen in him that really...
It's just good learning for all of them. I thought Liam, although Dargo's record's probably not too good if you look at the history books now, but the way he performed and led during the weeks that he was captain was really important for him and his growth and his presence around the players. And I suspect it'll be the same with Oscar. So having an opportunity to do what captains do for a couple of weeks and then hopefully get Luke back, probably the Adelaide game, I reckon. So, yep, he'll be next one up. And you'll flip the coin and do a little pre-game speech and hopefully he can play well.
And how's his knee?
It's good. It's better than last week. Yeah, I was a bit worried. He got a knock on it. He came off in the last 10 minutes, I think, of the game, but he feels pretty good.
Do you know what happened with Duggo's neck last week? Was that an issue at some point? He came off late?
He had a headache. So I thought he got a knock on that, but he had a headache. So he's okay.
Are you in a position to manage Ruben at all at the moment, or is it still...
I think we have. We subbed him a few weeks ago. There's a bye coming up. We've been playing him down back a little bit, and he's on managed minutes. So that's as good as we can do without giving him a break. So, yeah, he seems to be handling it pretty well. So we'll probably continue to do that.
Adam, one of the stories, obviously, in my paper today was about the board. Do you feel fully supported right now in the club?
Yeah, I really don't get involved with that stuff, and I don't. You guys report what you need to, but I'm the coach until I'm not the coach. So I always feel supported. From Trevor and the board, they've been really good to me, and I really want to repay them with good leadership. So at the moment, until you're not the coach, I've got full support of the board with what I'm being told. So we'll go from there.
What are the outside noises been around the list build and that? How do you reflect on the last few years of that, and do you feel like you have done the right thing, or have you made any mistakes along the way?
It's always mistakes, yeah. What's been a challenge for us with our list is the availability. We're missing, last week, 10 players, 10 of our senior players, and if you grab any team, take out their top 10 and just put the rest of the list in there, it's a challenge to assess how you're going. So if anything, we've probably exposed our whole list for the last couple of years, and we can make really clear decisions at the end of the season. So, but it's been hard to judge with the availability piece, probably for at least 2 seasons now. It's been a challenge.
You mentioned you don't judge the first and second year players, but the ones that have been here for 3, 4 and 5 years, will we see them play some different roles or something like that, just so you know what you've got or what you haven't got by the end of the season?
Yeah, we need to look at that. It's the challenge with playing in different roles and throwing the magnets around, and no doubt we're going to have to do that at stages, is do you get the best out of them on game day when they're just trying to get a game and be competitive, and then you play them in a different position? So sometimes it's a Hail Mary, and sometimes you plan it by go back to Waffle, play a couple of weeks in this position, get yourself right, be clear about your role, and we'll bring you in. I normally like to do it that way, but we might need to do it differently and just see what we've got with changing some things pre-game or in the middle of a game.
And you need to have to, again, it's a list management issue, but do you need to have to find out about the durability of your older guns between now and the end of the season?
That's important. Yeah, what can we do to get these guys on the track? That's what we're looking at really hard, and they're as frustrated as we are, and I'm sure our fans, our members are as frustrated as anyone with our performances. And despite the 100,000 members we have, I'm sure there's a lot of criticism there, but we appreciate the support of the the guys that stick by us through the good and bad times, and getting those senior guys back to be part of that success is important, and making sure we can assess them if they can actually have a bit of longevity. There's no reason why they can't. We just haven't cracked the code yet.
If they can't prove that, are some of them facing the end at the end of the season?
Well, they're not getting any younger, so we'll work through that. We won't go through list management now, but yeah, we'll work through it, and I think we all know where everyone's at.
Just in terms of the forward line at the moment,
Yes.
Looking at trying to get Oscar out, like a few more talls up forward. Is the temptation still there to maybe chuck someone like Tom Barras up forward, have an extra tall for tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's something we've got to look at. I mean, Essendon have got a pretty short, quick side, so that it looks like it's going to be a pretty fast-paced game. So. Yeah, we're looking at that. What can we do to help Oscar? I mean, last week I think there was Jake and Oscar, and maybe Petruccelli, who are only forwards that I think from round one there's probably only one or two forwards that are left there. So that's been a challenge, trying to find goals and key position players, in particular what we got out. So, like I said to Duff earlier about maybe throwing the magnets around before the game or during the game rather than the waffle form is probably something we'll look at.
Have you seen anything different in the players this week after the weekend's loss? Is there any extra drive or fire in the belly or anything?
Look, I hope so. Yeah, it's hard to judge because every game I go into really positive, thinking we're up for this. Warm up, the look in their eye. From day one to on the weekend, it's really hard to judge how they're feeling. So I think the weekend, we really hope we get a response this week, just with effort. And, we didn't run last week either. We've folded back a lot. So we want to bring a bit more pressure to this game. And when we're at our best, despite the wins, the best quarters we've played this year, we've brought pressure. So that's got to be our goal.